Are you playing a game on your phone?
Me?
Yeah.
Usually yes, but no, right now I was trying to look at the lyrics. That's where we're going. Yeah.
Texting your boo thing?
I can't text my dog.
text the dog.
She wouldn't know how to respond anyway. She has fat paws.
I don't get it.
Welcome once again to Noah's Snark, where music snobs and current snarks take a look at religious media on its own terms.
My name is Hillary.
And I am Josh, a.k.a. Anomaly.
No, that movie was terrible.
I'm sticking with it.
All right.
And today's, you can see by the title, it's pretty cool because David is back, and that's fantastic.
Yes.
Where's the crowd? Where's the applause camp after?
We can hit you, yeah.
We can applaud.
Thank you. Thank you. I did not ask for that. I appreciate it.
We're here to finish the album Anomaly by Lecrae, and hopefully we'll get it done this time.
We will. I believe in us.
We did not expect to have so very much to say about the first half of it.
We didn't expect David to be such a good guest.
So here's hoping we have just as much to say about the second half.
Right. Be worse.
No.
No, it's a joke.
We're halfway through. No.
It's a joke.
But we're halfway through, so like this is good, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Just don't be so good that we have 3 parts.
I got you.
Right. Reel in the talent and knowledge.
This is the finale.
Before we begin on the second half of this album, does anyone have anything they'd like to add or say about the first half that they feel they left out or neglected accidentally?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember anything about what I said or did.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was weeks ago.
It's valid.
Yeah, I can't tell you what I did yesterday in full detail.
I know that about you. All right, so nothing really.
I say once again, this is a good album. This is good.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
having heard it with the added perspective of our last conversation on it, because I listened to the whole thing again twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's a good album. It's just good.
I re-listened to the whole thing a couple times since that recording, and I kind of just want. it's just going to be in my repertoire. Like, it's going to be an album I listen to every now and then. I genuinely enjoyed it.
I'll probably look into some of his others.
Yeah, more the second time, actually.
Got to start. Put a little
Spoilers. Yeah. We have already given it away. Album's good.
Yeah. Spoilers for
the end.
Yeah, well, we're not doing ratings anymore, so we don't have to worry about.
That's true. All right, so with that, on to the breakdown. The first song in the second half we're going to do is number 8, Dirty Water.
Lies you told about yourself that you don't realize. What must be a thief? She locked the doors when I was walking by. They must be whores because the master rapes them and leaves the child. So deadbeat daddy was taught to me way before my time.
And it's about how people neglect actual, real problems in their communities, and is more specifically an indictment of Christians who use their religion as a shield to prevent taking any degree of responsibility for improving things around them. But they all, as he mentions in the song, they'll often contribute to efforts to help people further away.
Yeah.
So you don't have to
there's a distance.
Yeah. What do you say? I built a well in Africa, but how many of my friends were Africans?
Right.
And it's a good
all
point.
Of us. Anyway.
Literally. Yeah. I only have a few friends, but they're all from Africa.
Yeah. It's true.
But yeah,
the title of this got me excited. I knew it wasn't about this, but I my first thought when I hear Dirty Water is Boston. There's a lot about dirty water in Boston. There's a song called Dirty Water about Boston because of how notoriously bad the water is there, the river or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a song that's like, love that dirty water, Boston, you're my home. It's like an embracing of a thing that should be a shame, a point of shame. Yeah, it's just like, fuck you, I love the dirty water.
Right.
Yeah, which is a very different thing from this. I just felt like I needed to say that because it was what was on my mind.
David, what did you think of this specifically?
I liked it. I liked how you summed up.
I'm actually going to pull up the lyrics while we're doing this.
Yeah, it was a line about...
There were a lot of good lines.
About the church, what he said about being in church.
Oh, most segregated time of day is Sunday service. Know what you think that say about the God you worship.
Yeah, that was good.
I really like the one before that. Ain't trying to get to know you. I'm too busy reading Daniel. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm reading this book.
I'm reading the Bible right now. I'm like,
actually, I first wanted to say, we were initially saying, like, he spends the first part of this album usually talking about how other people are doing it wrong. They're saying he's got to really deliver something new if he's going to just criticize, because you can't tear things down and build nothing in its place, especially if this is your whole thing.
Right.
And I think this is the first song to really, really deliver on that.
Yeah.
Because he's actually talking about something like maybe...
It's like pointing out flaws without giving an actual...
Right.
Yeah.
And this one's a real solution. Like, maybe talk to the people near you.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a start.
Don't build a well in Africa. I mean, do that too.
Right.
But also, like, hey, man, we just built a well. You want to go hang out?
Right.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. You know who could use a well? Me. Let's all go build a well.
Right.
Down the street.
So, so I think it was the first part where he really fully delivered on that promise. Best part of this song. My kin was treated less than men. That's why we raised to hate each other. Because we hate our skin. Lies you told about yourself that you don't realize. I must be a thief. She locked the doors when I was walking by. They must be whores because the master rapes them and leaves the child. So deadbeat daddy was taught to me way before my time. It's like, damn.
Damn, that is, yeah.
That's deep.
It was too much.
That's deep.
Yeah.
But it's
There's a lot to absorb in this amount of time you're getting that information.
Yeah, because he's basically saying that, like, if you treat people like trash, they're gonna think they are.
Right.
Maybe act the part, or at least, like, fit the mold.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like,
damn. That's real. Yeah.
But you can't, it's one of those things he's pointing out, like, you can't, everyone's always, where are the fathers? And it's like, well, 150 years we didn't have any fathers because it was you. Fucking up our whole life.
It's real systematic. Like, you know, you don't want to take the responsibility off of, you know what I mean, you as a person and all that and what you can do now. But
right.
A lot of like perspectives and actions are not your own. You know what I'm saying? When
you are forcibly cultured to raise your children a certain way, it should not be a surprise when later it is a trend in the same culture to be like, you know, we're good. You don't need dads around because we didn't have them before. Like, we should.
We didn't know what to do with the dad if we had it. Yeah.
Right. And you should have him around if you can, obviously. David knows. He's got a child. He's got it. He takes care of it.
It's important.
But yeah, like, it's silly to think, like, it's gonna be any different if you keep treating people the same way. It's silly to me.
It is silly.
All right. The next song is Wish.
I wish I didn't do it, but I did it. Man, it happened last night. Man, I wish I would try to act like you ain't never lost your sight. And I don't even do it for the money. Except when I do it for the money.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I can't.
Okay. Well, I interpreted it.
I'm so tired and I don't know why. I got so much sleep. I'm working on it. Sorry, y'all.
I interpret it as a song about regret. But it's kind of interesting because he multiple times points out that he actually likes the way things have worked out for him. He's got a dope wife. He's got a dope life. He's got everything's going his way. Right. But also, if he could, he would change things from before.
Yeah.
And
would y'all change some things?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I think is really interesting about it.
It's very relatable.
Right.
It's very human, very relatable.
Yeah, I think it's interesting for that because I like my life. Generally, there's nothing I look at and like, boy, I should just change all of this because when I come across that, I tend to change it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are certainly things I could change.
I can get behind the whole idea of, you know, everything that happened to me is why I'm the way I am now. And if you like the way you are now, you don't want to overthink the things that happened in your past. But at the same time, you're like, well, you know, there's always better. So maybe, where would I be if this was the path I went down instead of this way? And I think it's a very human thing to do.
Right. And I think it's honest in a way that a lot of music doesn't usually get to. Because he's doing both sides. Like, he does specifically say, my wife is the best. Yeah. There's no better wife. But also, that girl that I dated a couple years ago. At the same time.
Yeah. Right. What if?
Like, I could have sorted that out, too.
I like you. But.
Yeah.
At the same
And usually music is either like, things are great, I'm great, especially rap music. Like, everything's the best, I'm the best. Or it's like, oops. I fucked up. I wish I could go back and change it. And there's very rarely acknowledgement of both of those sides.
Right.
So Wish was good. And obviously it's a fun jam. Outside of the...
Yeah. It wasn't as deep as the others.
Like. No. It was lighter.
You're about to ask him something.
Oh yeah. What would you go back and change? What's one thing that you would go back and change?
Go back and change.
What's a thing that comes up constantly when you're thinking about that?
Shit.
Get fucking raw with us.
You know what? A bunch of things that I guess I would change, even though I do love myself. But yeah, I remember meeting Pharrell
Yeah.
And being backstage with Pharrell at a show and just being so nervous. A couple times I met Pharrell, but both times I was like so starstruck.
Yeah.
That I could not say anything. You know
I
what I'm
would
saying?
be too.
And I was just like, I didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I always think about like, man,
that's a good one.
You know what I mean? If I would've
how old were you when you met him?
I wasn't grown, but I was a kid. Like I was like 21, 22.
Yeah, that's a great time to be too nervous to talk to somebody. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I remember that a lot. I remember that being I was like on this tour bus and like, I ain't know what to say, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I ain't know what to say.
What would you say? Thinking right now, I don't think I would, I would have no idea what to say to him. He looks like he smells good.
Well, you know, I didn't smell him too much, but he didn't stink. I'll tell you that.
You would remember that. That would stink.
You recall, probably. That's funny.
I don't know. I think I would have been more confident in like the things I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Better prepared
from the relationship that we had. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me just being like I'll take whatever you give me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You'd be like going with some confidence, be like, I think I have an idea.
Like, hey, like let's do this.
What about you, Josh?
I've been thinking since you asked him. I knew you were going to ask me, and I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
Not because there's nothing.
Right.
It's just like, what is significant enough that it would matter.
Right. What would cause the wave of change throughout the rest of your life? Yeah.
Right. So I don't, because everything I keep thinking of is just, embarrassing times.
I should have eaten more vegetables.
I should have eaten more vegetables.
Well, yeah, but even the embarrassing times sometimes it's like,
yeah.
I'm glad
that's what keeps you up at night. Just remembering that thing you said in 5th grade. Like, why?
Probably some choices I might have made in my early 20s I would probably go back and fix.
Yeah. We all got that.
Yeah. Most of them are women, but it's fine.
Yeah. Change them. Change those women.
Change my choices.
Okay.
Not participating in any of this.
I would have put a condom on there.
Yeah.
It's one thing I've always been very good at. Very good at that.
Prevention.
But there's definitely some that even then I'm like, I didn't need to be in this situation.
Yeah, that was avoidable.
So that's probably what all right, now it's your turn.
Probably there are a lot of opportunities that I turned down out of fear that really could have gone somewhere. A lot of opportunities with like other people who do really creative, fun work, but I'm a very introverted and, despite this podcast and you guys knowing me, I'm a kind of quiet person, really. So when people like wanting me to be in one of their movies or help them with this play or all these things, I'm like, in my heart, I'm like, I would love to do that. But I'm like, but I cannot. Like, I can't imagine being in front of people or being in charge of this.
Yeah.
So if I had the confidence I have now back then, which is something that's not fair to do to myself.
Yeah, no.
Right. But yeah, that and also I wish I had stayed at my 9th grade high school instead of moving back to the shit high school I graduated from. Wow. Again, out of fear. Like my 9th grade year was very, very like difficult, but I was going to like an international baccalaureate school. So I was getting
know what that means. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I don't really. It sounds fucking fancy, but it's like a little above AP, but you can do it your whole high school career instead of like later in it. And it was stressful, but it was a good education.
Pants is what you
I could have been, but I went to Etowah. I left after 9th grade. I was given my mom, they let me decide what I wanted to do, which I still don't think they made the right choice to give me the option. But I didn't want to be.
But you made the wrong choice.
I made the wrong choice for sure. Yeah, I should have stuck with it. That's all. Yeah, okay. Nothing huge.
Yeah, I don't have anything major really.
Yeah, I didn't kill anybody, I don't think.
Right.
So
I don't have any. Like I said, I'm good at responsibility, so I don't have any kids I'm not aware of.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I hope I don't either.
Just I'm just saying. Sometimes I would have been like, you know what? I'm not that interested.
Yeah. More honest, straightforward.
Yeah. Nah.
Less wasted time. Yeah. All right.
But fear probably be
fear.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed by fear.
For a lot of people, I bet you, it's like the fear of something that made them not do something or made them do something.
Yeah.
They wish they could do.
Yeah, I'd say fear is probably the biggest motivator in making mistakes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, cool.
The next song was called Runners.
Somehow a college Greek letters made me cute all the time online. I still couldn't compute it. I pledge girls, then it's on to the next girl. My next girl eventually be my ex-girl. But it's funny how it all unfolds. I done finally found a woman I ain't never letting go.
And this one had the most amusing opening because it was the guy at the gym.
Oh, that's
And
right.
he sees the girl. He's
I
like,
wanted to punch him in the dick.
I know, but it's funny.
I love this gym.
Love this gym. Ooh, she
He's
fine.
gonna do cardio now.
He's like, screw it. I'm not, forget about that bench press today. I'm doing cardio today.
There'll be some bad ones in the gym, man.
I mean, you're correct.
Yeah.
He's correct.
Yes.
But it was just a funny opening.
But they
It
might
was a
smell
funny
like
opening.
full court basketball too. You gotta understand.
Well, you know.
Working out. You know.
If they smell that way, hopefully you do too. So at least you can't judge each other. You know?
I missed that. What are y'all talking about?
If they'll smell because they've been exercising, but
Yeah.
hopefully you do too. So like, you're not going to be judging like,
Everyone's
oh, you
stinky.
stink. We both sweat. That's why we're here.
That's what I came here for.
Well, there's a difference. There's like
Except I
there's
swim, so
fresh
I'm actually
sweat, which is a
never
little bit like
sweating.
onions, which kind of makes it smell like cooking. And then there's I haven't washed these pants in a week.
That's right.
Raunch smell.
I like
Totally
onion
different.
smell.
Yeah, I do too.
Not
I don't
on-
mind fresh
Not on
sweat.
people, but
Well, right.
you know,
No.
It shouldn't be like a lingering thing.
No, it shouldn't be something like when
But while
clean, you
cooking.
still emit
Yeah.
deep onion smell. Like clearly you eat way too many onions and it's coming out of your pores. But fresh sweat smells pretty good.
While cooking onions. But Runners, the song is about, being respectful to women.
Yeah.
You can still appreciate them.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dog.
Yeah.
I didn't really like this song. I ain't gonna lie
Yeah,
to
I
you.
didn't
Yeah,
really
it wasn't honestly, the skits at the intro and outro are the best
We're
part.
back,
Yeah.
There was nothing really going on here. I get it, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
It didn't. And I don't feel like it landed the way it wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is not the last of these, actually, so just because it's a good album doesn't mean it's a perfect album,
right,
right?
it's not perfect. Definitely.
Alright, so the next song is called All I Need Is You.
You digging me when I'm egging you. Deal with me when my car's pulled. Could've dealt with me, but you fell for me before I fell for you. Keep me on that right path and the right math. Is you plus nothing's everything. You my everything. Sing.
It's the single.
Is that the single?
Yeah, for sure.
I thought going in, All I Need Is You was going to be a song about God. It's not. It's a song about his wife,
Yeah.
which is nice
Yeah.
for her.
This is the song that I heard on the radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how'd you feel then?
I didn't know too much about him.
Yeah.
I knew he was borderline Christian rapper.
Right.
So I was like, this is a nice middle ground.
Uh-huh.
We're trying to find something
Nice
commercial.
secular single.
Yeah, find something commercial that you can put on the radio so that you can market your album,
Right.
but still not sacrificing who you want to be.
Right.
It was alright, you know what I mean? I liked it. I liked it. It's a nice radio song.
Yeah, it's a love song. I tend to check out in most of them, honestly.
I feel you.
But it was.
I would say it's like one of them songs where the chorus, like you're not really listening to the verses as much. You're just waiting for the chorus to come.
So I can hear that girl's voice. Is that the one where the girls sing it? On you.
like the sample. Yeah.
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 That's all I remember of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like the driver of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Is that a technical term? A driver?
Driver, just it's something that you don't remember, basically.
Okay. Earworm
It
bit.
drives it into your brain,
Oh.
I guess.
Yeah.
Learning. I like this.
See? Musical. That's why I bring musical guy.
Yeah, no.
That's why I'm here.
I'm gonna
guys.
pick your
That's why I'm
brain.
here.
But yeah, I don't really have anything much on it. It's a love song. I don't know.
Yeah.
Radio singer.
Alright, the next one. Give In.
People telling me that I'm probably too far gone, but they don't understand where I've been and they walk the road that I walked on. Tell me who I'm gonna call on. What solid ground can I fall on? You everything that I never dreamed of. You give me meaning, it's all on you.
And it sounds like it's a song about giving your life to God.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, essentially.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, when I was reading about it, apparently it's supposed to be about how life is purposeless without God,
Well,
and how distressing that is.
yeah.
And if that's the way it was intended, because I saw this quote. Apparently it's Lecrae talking about this album and this specific song. There came a point in my life where the philosophical and physical realm were at a stalemate. I couldn't fathom living life purposeless. If humanity is nothing more than a cosmic accident with the propensity to evolve, then nothing truly matters. But if nothing matters, why live as though it does? Why eat, wake up, fall in love, go to work, enjoy sunny days? I think deep down inside we want to matter, to have reasons for living, to have meaning. I'm not going to finish the rest, but if that's what this song was for,
Mm.
I honestly think it missed the mark.
I didn't see how
You didn't get that, right?
What he just, I didn't see how
Because,
that
like,
matched up.
I would listen to that song.
What was that quote? Was
Yeah.
he talking about this song
Yes.
with that quote? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, like, it's... Because I found one for every track on here, so he was talking about them all specifically.
Mhm.
But, like, Give In, it's not bad. It's just clearly about him, like, giving up what his desires and whatever he wants to do for a higher purpose.
Right.
And that's fine.
Mhm.
But that's not that song that he just described there.
I didn't get that. I didn't
Right.
get that. Like, I understand the concept of, like, giving in, just kind of like, all right, you win, guy.
Right.
But like that was a deep explanation.
Right, because there's...
Deep right there.
When you're blind and losing your way, and now ain't nobody else for me, it's just you. You got my time all the time, every time. My mind's on you. He's doing the time thing again. But, like, that's a verse. That's supposed to be the meat and potatoes of it, right?
Right.
The chorus is usually to hook you. That's why they're called hooks often.
Yes, indeed.
But all he got was he's literally giving in his way for capital his way.
Yeah.
But I would really want to hear the song about how if nothing matters, why do we live like that?
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
That's
Really?
that's the question
Mhm.
that we all have.
Right.
As soon as we know.
Right.
Yeah.
How
Anything.
meaningless life is.
Exactly.
I would like to see Guillermo del Toro make a movie about that line right there.
You are speaking my language right now.
That,
1,000,000%.
that
Yes.
would be a dope ass movie.
You really would. With a monster.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
with a monster in it.
So Runners was, like you said, it didn't quite hit its mark, and I think Give In is probably the one to most miss the mark.
If that's the
Because
mark, yeah.
If that's what he meant.
If that's what he
Right.
was going for, I
Yeah.
think he missed it the widest margin, because it's like, the song's fine. But
Yeah,
knowing
I
what
enjoyed the song.
knowing what it was supposed to be, it's disappointing.
Right. Whether that was his intention or not, I can tell you I responded to Give In because, as you do with all art, and especially music, at least me, you project your own life and your own,
hmm
Yeah.
mindset into what you're indulging in.
hmm
So for me, not reading over the lyrics again, but I remember listening to this and feeling it was more for me about like kind of self-acceptance and like it's like kind of giving up fighting either who you are or all the things that have been holding you back in your own mind or in the world. So I liked it. I responded to it.
Yeah.
To me, I got nothing spiritual about it, but that's because I'm not a spiritual person specifically. So
Right.
likely I just projected my own personality and life experience on it, as one does.
You definitely, if he wasn't known as a Christian type of artist, somebody else could have used that chorus too, and it wouldn't have been about God. It could have been about
Yeah.
a relationship. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Or
Which I
what
like.
you
It's
said.
not like it's like not his point of view being pushed down your throat. He leaves it kind of vague enough to where you can find yourself in it.
Yeah, it made me feel like the record was given to him. I'm not saying that's what happened, but
What does that mean?
Like with my publishing company, we put together records.
What publishing company?
What's that publishing
Steady
company?
Chasing Records.
Steady Chasing Records, you
Steady
say?
Chasing Records.
You know, I've heard of them.
.com.
What? You've got a .com?
Yes, indeed.
Highfalutin.
Supplying all your musical needs for your next project.
I'll make note of that. I've always wanted to sing into a microphone.
But like some people make reference records. That's what they call reference records. So it's like the hook is on there. There's no verses. You don't know who's going to get the song. And you just shop the record, and then T.I. picks it and just puts the verses on it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it sounds like
So they buy like a skeleton and then they put it.
it's like a
Okay.
skeleton.
That's
Yeah, it's like
cool.
a song with a chorus already built in,
Mm.
and it's just you put a verse on there to kind of personalize it, but it could go to anybody.
Right. Okay, that's rad. I didn't realize that's how it works.
That's rad.
Yeah, it's a lot of records like that.
Groovy.
So that's kind of what I felt when I heard it. This last half of the album, this second half of the album, sound like music licensing. That's what it sounds like. You do it
In a good way or a bad
Okay.
way?
not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's just like
You can hear
it don't
it.
have the content like the first half did. It's like he was like, all right, well, you know, second half of the album, you know, I done gave them the meat.
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? But let's just make it a little easy on their ears now.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I get it because
Yeah.
You got the single,
Right.
and then it's a lot of like songs about, you know, catered towards women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
Give them like some.
It's not that it's produced any differently. It's that
Yeah.
it's structured differently.
Yeah,
Because you're right. A lot of these chori.
I think there's a reason why we're breezing through them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know we all tired. You know what I mean? But I think that's not the reason why we're breezing. I think the reason why we're breezing through them is because it ain't as much to analyze like those first half songs.
Right.
Well, do you feel, as somebody who does like production like this, do you not? I assumed, or I would have thought that would be apparent to like them as they're doing it, and
it might be on purpose.
No, but wouldn't you have like try to mix them together a little bit more to like create kind of more of a flow instead of like one half being heavy and one half being?
You definitely when you put together an album, you kind of like you want to hit them in the face when you first start,
right?
You know what I mean? Give them like that's why sometimes a lot of singles you hear on the radio are on the first 2 or 3 songs.
Right.
You hit them with those type of songs.
It's always like number 8 or number 10 where like the next big one on the radio is.
And then you kind of like, you know, it's different for everybody, but you hit them in the face when you first start, and you give them kind of like who you are, and then as it fades away, you just give them kind of like some smooth shit.
Okay.
But I think he's mostly doing that because we had Dirty Water.
No, he's doing that.
And then Wish.
This is just not the way that I made mixed CDs back in the day. I had a very different structure pattern. I need to go high and low, back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
but it's deeper than Runners and All I Need Is You.
Yeah.
And then we have Give In, which is, you know, you pulled something out of it.
Yeah.
That's still something. Like I said, it's not that the song is bad anymore.
It's not bad at all.
It's actually good.
Yeah.
It's just that
it missed a mark.
It missed a mark that apparently he was going for.
He's not talking about going overseas and coming back home. Like, remember
getting shot at? Yeah, it just doesn't have that particular verb to it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of trying to go a little deeper, the next song is Good, Bad, Ugly.
And she love and trust me so much that whatever I say she'll probably go oblige. But I was too selfish with my time. Scared my dreams were not gonna survive. So I dropped her off at that clinic. That day a part of us died, man.
And this one is purely personal.
Yes.
But like deeply personal.
It's a story, and it's his story. Yeah.
It was very effective, I thought.
I thought so too.
The first time I was hearing this album, I was just like getting through it because that's that's how you listen to most albums. Probably you're just getting through it.
Yeah.
And this one particularly, I was like, "What? What's happening?
This
Jesus!
This was sticky.
She did what?
Yeah, this was sticky. This stuck
so
in your brain.
this one it got your attention even if you weren't specifically paying attention. The first verse, because there's really only 2. It's particular about having an ex. I think it's an ex who had an abortion.
Yeah,
because he wasn't behaving himself the way he should have, and wound up with a baby on the way.
Yep. You guys ever did that before? Well,
yep.
I mean, not. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I've kind of already intimated towards it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You've had
I don't.
an abortion?
Not me personally, but
it's a fucking thing, man.
I am a different person from Lecrae. I don't feel the same way he does about it.
I don't either.
Yeah. No. Plenty Plan Bs, I'll tell you that.
I've had definitely some of those.
Oh my
too.
god, so many Plan Bs, and I'm not that type of girl.
You just do it precautionarily.
And then we just have deep, deep fear. That's the kind of fear I don't regret.
But
that's healthy. That's healthy fear.
Yeah. One may assume, but let's go ahead and say it. Lecrae feels very differently about his abortion than
it affected him.
Yes, that day a part of us died. Specifically, what he said about it. I'm like, yeah, it happened. That's cool. I have nothing.
No, I had no reaction to it whatsoever.
Right.
But to each their own.
Right.
Yeah.
Not judging him. Do your thing.
Yeah. We all have different points of view.
Right.
We should all worry about our own bodies.
Exactly.
And if you're against it, fucking don't do it.
Right.
He also spoke about like the struggle between like the wants of the body and the wants of the soul. Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
What did he say? Soul was hating it time and time after time. Our bodies grew close. The girl was so fine. Heard a heartbeat that wasn't hers or mine.
Oh.
But yeah, apparently he was having a real hard time actually doing it because he had turned away from God, which is his main thing at this point, really.
Right.
But was having a good time in the distraction.
Yeah.
From the soulful stuff. David.
What?
I don't know.
What
I don't know.
Hey,
I had a thought and it's gone.
That quickly?
I don't think it was fully formed.
You did. You didn't even get a full word out.
I had David in my head. I was like, David. Nope, got nothing.
David's right here.
David's
I'm going to
right
ask
there.
him something.
I'm here.
What do you need?
Alright, so after the first verse where he talks about his regret with a woman and a baby, he now goes on to the real deep part, where he talks about the time he was molested by a babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking real.
That's what he said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was the part I said.
When you use the word molestation, it like...
and he didn't even, use
Your
it,
ear goes,
yeah.
I'm just driving down the street with the windows down enjoying the spring day.
I was in the shower. I had it playing over like a speaker.
Did you wash yourself a few more times?
But I heard him talk about whatever she did to me or whatever he was saying. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
She woke me up for playtime.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
I had my innocence stripped away from me, and I still don't know how to feel, and I wonder how to address it. Can't tell my family too messy. It's so much.
Yeah. It's so much.
It's part of me. I was like, well, maybe, musicians, writers, everybody. Maybe this is a story he was telling that's not necessarily his, but the way, like, from the point of view that he gives seems very real.
No, this one's
very.
real.
It has to. Yeah.
Here you can see an interview where he talks about it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is real.
Yeah, and I feel like there's no doubt when you really pay attention to the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. And he even said, didn't think it hit me so deep, so into it I got promiscuous. Like, it affected him later in life. Like,
Yeah,
which
as
is
it
the thing that
does.
happens.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens when people...
There was a series of events.
so-
Yeah.
But like earlier, you remember
Dominoes.
on America, we were talking about the oddness of taking someone else's perspective and like making it your own.
Yeah.
But we were like, it works because he's sending a message just from different perspectives.
There are whole
about
industries that
America.
do that, yeah.
Right. This one would not have worked was it not a real story.
No.
I'd be like, ooh, that's
Nah.
gross.
Right.
Nah.
So it's good that it really happened.
Right.
Because this one would not be okay to be like, here's a fictional story I made up about molestation.
Yeah, this is what I think it would be like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
that feels dirty and wrong.
Right.
Yeah, pretending that
But
you
knowing that it
experienced something.
did
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
And good on him for being able to be that
Right.
forthcoming and that, like, raw about it.
That could really mess you up moving forward too, like something like that.
Oh, I know.
As you said, like your idea of what sex is, that could really mess you up, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it apparently did a little bit at least.
Yeah.
He's mentioned multiple times now that he was a rambunctious youth.
He liked some ladies.
He liked ladies.
Yeah.
And a couple other things.
Yep.
Promiscuous.
So yeah, it fucked him up, and he traces it back to that. So
I hope he has a therapist.
He's
They're
got
supposed to
God.
be helpful. No, I hope he had one during more
okay.
formative points.
Formative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got
Because to
God.
get to like full on adulthood and you
using it.
haven't really dealt with it, that's a lot harder to deal with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I bet you it happened to a lot of people that, you know what I mean? It's a lot more people than we know, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
No,
tons.
yeah.
I had a professor in college, my criminal justice professor or whatever. Anytime he talked about like sex crimes or anything, he would always look up like this, like at the ceiling,
Yeah.
just because he didn't want to see anybody's face or
Oh.
anybody's like expression.
No, I get that.
You know?
Yeah.
He was like, he would often preface it with like, I know there's women in this room who have been through this. That's why I'm looking at the ceiling, so I can't see you.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to tell me, I don't want to know. And I was like, you know what? Because he was a senile old guy, but
Yeah.
like, he was a good person.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It was a good move, classy move.
Yeah.
And as a male, sometimes you think, man, that'd be dope if but nah, that probably
No,
mess
yeah,
you
the
up.
point of view, like when things
When
come
you're
out
that
about
young.
like female teachers going after like male students,
Mhm.
there's a lot of like that machismo that you
Mhm.
hear, like lucky fucking guy, you know, like man, if my teacher hit on me like
I
that,
won't lie to you though.
I still
Yeah.
do it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was in middle school.
I had some
Man,
bad teachers.
Yeah.
Miss Spearman, man.
yeah,
Man, hey.
you can't put yourself in the place of someone, even if you
Right.
were into them,
Right.
as somebody who's not fully developed maturely and
Definitely,
sexually.
definitely. It would have
A serious
an
impact.
impact on you.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
That doesn't really get addressed, especially like men don't get
We're not exempt.
Right. You're not exempt. And you also don't get much, there's not a lot of talk about male molestation as much.
Right.
I think there's somewhat two sides to this because, like you said, when it happens to young guys and their female teachers, a lot of guys, their reaction is to be like, lucky guy.
Yeah.
And to be fair, when I was 14, 15, 16, I would have felt like a lucky guy.
That would have been.
Yeah.
I'd probably not even realize how much I'm fucking up my entire future.
Totally. Yeah. That's how it would be.
Like, I would later be like 28 and finally like wake up one day and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What has happened to
You
me?
have like a visceral reaction to something random. You're like, uh-oh. Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Something just bubbled up.
This is the teacher's fault.
Yeah.
But like, and that's probably what would happen.
Yeah.
So like even,
Stays latent until.
right.
Yeah.
Even if in the time, and this is not what he's claiming, but even if in the time you were into it, you probably still fucked up.
Yeah. It's going to mess with you.
It's gonna mess with you. So it's weird. David, how do you think something like this, how big a risk was this to take musically?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think so. I think when you put it in music, it's a lot more easier to do than you coming out and saying it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't think.
Okay.
Also, people respond to honesty, so it can only help, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a gasp. Like, you know what I mean? You was just like, damn, that's wild. But it's like, I would,
Okay. That's fair.
When you put it in music, like, you can pretty much say all kind of shit.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be sure if there's another perspective, because I know a lot of, like, actors have concerns about that sort of thing.
About what?
About what?
Like, being honest about, even as they were kids, being molested or taken advantage of, especially in the industry, but even then, like...
Actors, yeah.
Or being gay.
Yeah.
Has nothing to...
I guess it's, I don't know, having a face to it. Like, with actors, the people who are molesting them usually are the people who are hiring them.
Mm-hmm. And I get that, and that's true.
Yeah.
True.
Totally different.
And there's no beat behind it when they tell you. You know what I'm saying?
But then you get actors like Tom
There's no
Arnold.
dope-ass beat behind it.
There are a lot of actors that will talk about their childhood, like things that happened in their childhood, but if it had anything to do with the industry itself, it's like this hush-hush, terrifying thing.
Right. The next song, 14 of 15, is Broken.
If you ain't breaking bad and you still chasing a habit, it ain't no wonderland, so we still chasing a rabbit. Ain't a soul on the planet that's better than another, and we all need grace in the face of each other. What's up?
And I interpreted it largely as "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone" sort of song. You know, about everyone has our own struggles and problems and wounds, and rather than poking and prodding at everyone else, maybe we should just focus on improving ourselves before we start doing the church gossip.
I'm with that. You know what? Yeah, because he did have a line that said, like, everybody on this earth, nobody is better than anyone, something like that.
Let's see.
Find it.
Ain't a soul on the planet that's better than another, and we all need grace in the face of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the end of the first verse.
Also, I feel like it was talking about, like, getting money don't erase, broken lessons that you have, you know what I mean, growing up, you know what I'm saying? Just because you get a little paper don't mean that you different to somebody else. Like, I can't think of the exact lines that he had, but...
Let's see. Alcoholics to addicts, English, African, Arabs, ain't no riches to fix it, you still broke when you have it. If you ain't breaking bad and you still chasing the habit, it ain't no wonderland, so we still chasing the rabbit.
Yeah. That was kind of ill.
Yeah.
Basically, the entire second half of the first verse is dope.
Yeah, that was ill. So it's kind of like, it's things that you're not addressing, it's problems that you're not addressing, you're chasing money to try to kind of mask it, maybe, you know what I mean?
But it's also, again, sort of like let's focus inward some, instead of tall poppy syndrome or crabs in a bucket,
Yeah.
Like, let's not...
Crabs in a bucket.
When you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, no one will get out, even though crabs are perfectly able to get out, because all the crabs will pull them down.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, you never heard that phrase?
I never heard that before.
Yeah, crabs.
And my mom's from New England.
Yeah, I think it's more commonly tall poppy. It's the same concept, but...
I explain tall poppy.
Poppies are apparently very competitive flowers. So if one poppy starts getting really tall, the others will
Which is
suck
interesting.
its nutrients.
Because if you abuse poppies, you become not that aggressive.
I don't know what that means.
Poppies where heroin comes from.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But,
Yes, indeed.
so I think the two terms are crabs in a bucket or tall poppy generally. I prefer crabs in a bucket because it's more evocative, I think.
It is. And really funny to think about.
Angry flowers.
Just like grabbing each other and like, no!
No, you can watch it happen. It's hilarious.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Fucked up.
Crabs are hilarious.
But like you can put crabs in a bucket and like
stupid animal.
one will climb up top and like have a claw up there, and the crab will be like, bitch.
No.
It's like, no, but like if you let him out, maybe he'll go get help.
Right.
Help him, he'll help you. He'll come back with a ladder.
I've never trusted Frank. I'll be damned if Frank gets out of here.
It's the bucket full of side-eye.
But yeah, because later he mentions if we don't swallow our pride, we're going to choke together. And basically, we're going to be put back together by God. And so this song is fun, at least, or interesting, at least, because it's about just doing better to yourself and each other, which is good. Because again, we were talking about how the second half really needs to be about building something.
Yeah.
And we have another one that's about building something.
He getting into it, yeah.
Yeah. He also,
rounding it off.
Once again, mentions outsiders, outliers, that whole
thing
which is a thing that comes up in a lot of these songs.
Definitely.
Seeing
That's
yourself.
kind of felt like I could tell that it was getting towards the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like, going back to summing it up.
Yeah, it did make it feel like it was creating like this whole smart. I guess that's what the good people do.
The good people.
Good
That's
creators.
That's why you're the rapper.
Funny. On to the last song. It ends with messengers.
Don't have to wonder your purpose or what you here for. Reflect his image and show the world what he cares for. And I know it's alright, and you know, it's your life, and we know, the time's running out.
And this is, I called it the second most explicit message on the album, because it's basically entirely about reflecting the light of God into the world intentionally and purposefully.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I could have did without it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know.
Was it too on the nose?
It was just too much. Yeah.
A little sappy.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Sappy. Like, the chorus, like, you know what I mean? Like,
After he's
for it
been
to be
so,
a hip-hop album, to hear that, it's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of felt like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, put it into words. I could have did without it.
Mm-hmm. It was a little.
But I understand that it was maybe necessary to put a cap on the album, so I understand why he would do it.
Right.
But it's like,
it does feel
I'll
like
never listen to that song.
It feels like that's his way of like what we were talking about earlier with presenting problems without solutions.
Yeah.
Like this is him kind of like bringing it back after talking about all the issues and his issues and the world's issues and whatever. This is kind of him being like, and this is what we need to do. Guys, come on.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get behind it, which I understand, but also I don't want to listen. I don't like this song.
I don't like song, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what did you say? You said it was, it's exactly the song that would end this album?
Yeah.
But you don't like it.
No, yeah.
Which is fair.
I
That
get
can be a thing.
exactly
Yeah.
why it's here.
Right.
I just don't want to listen to it.
Right. Because it does, fits perfectly the theme.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't think it's ambitious, really. Because I think if there's anything you can say about this album, it's probably pretty, I think, ambitious. He's going for something. Like, he's shooting for it.
He has a clear idea and a clear perspective.
Right.
He has something he's trying to get across succinctly.
Right.
He does a good job.
But then at the end here, it's just kind of like...
It's kind of like, compared to other songs, it's just not as dope.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not as a good song. Like,
yeah. He did not stick the landing.
Nah. He damn near could have just had an outro where he just spoke about something.
Right. Well, I guess now's a good time to ask. Ultimately, now that we're here at the end of the album, do we feel like he's accomplished his stated goal of actually speaking something different into the world or the rap game? Either one? Both? Or did he make big promises and ultimately fail to deliver?
I think definitely. I think him being who he is and having the courage to speak about his life in that way, he definitely stand out. Like, he definitely stand out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think, like we said, we were concerned because the first half was all teardown. I think at the end, some in the beginning, but definitely more towards the second half, he definitely
starts building up again.
Starts building stuff again. And even like stuff that's not necessarily building anything. Good, Bad, Ugly. That song's just about him and his life.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily teach or anything, but it's like, damn. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I feel like is great, and I don't want to contradict myself because it's like the song is about being an outsider and an outlier, but because of the production and because of his rapping ability, he still can go do a song with anybody. He can get on a song with T.I.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be forced.
I think he has.
I wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be forced.
I think he might have.
He can get on a song with the most shallow, violent rapper. Not saying that they would be violent. They would have to. They'd have to clean. Yeah, they would have to do something else, but it wouldn't be forced. You know what I mean? Like
he could hold his own.
Yeah, like his music is still like it's still open enough where other people can come on.
And hey, I owned several DMX albums as a youth. I bought them constantly, and even
DMX. And Lecrae would be a dope ass. That'd be a real good ass collaboration.
But DMX only talks about murdering people. He talks about raping people.
Not all the time.
Almost. Let me tell you, I had these albums. 90% of those songs are about murdering somebody. But on every one, almost every one, he had a prayer.
Yep.
And then he had a song specifically about God stuff.
He was a spiritual man.
He was a spiritual man. He was always really weird to me because it's like 2 songs ago you were talking about fucking. There's a song where he literally talks about he's going to rape your daughter. Like you fuck with him, he's going to break into your house, kill your family, and rape your daughter.
He confesses on Sunday.
But then he makes a song about like, Lord Jesus, it is you. I'm like, come on, man.
DMX got some lines that says, I got blood on my hands and there's no remorse.
I got blood on my dick.
Blood on my dick
because I fucked the corpse.
More serial killers should write songs. I feel like they have a point of view that we don't get to see very often.
But then at the end of that album, I don't know that one specifically, that album, but I'm almost sure there's something like, it is in your hands that I rest my soul. Hey, man, come on, man.
He got a song.
There's a self-awareness issue here. Or multiple personalities.
Like a theme. Remember the theme where basically he met the devil and he sold his soul to him?
Damien, yeah. I love those songs.
Yeah, and then he had a song with Marilyn Manson about the second part.
That was the second part, yeah.
That was ill.
Damien is a cool series. I liked him. I actually still sometimes look up the Damien, just listen to them all. I like it. There's 4 of them, right? Are there 4?
I thought it was 2.
No, there's 3. Yeah, because in the third one, Damien comes back. You should hear it. It's fun. It's not as good as the first 2, but it's fun.
You know, DMX at the time, DMX was like the only artist. He released 2 albums in 1 year. They both went like stupid platinum. Like that was like unheard of.
Is that late 90s or early 2000s?
Both.
Like, late 2000s.
And I don't know how we wound up on DMX, but the point is, Lecrae can fit right in with DMX because even DMX will write a song about Jesus sometimes.
Hey man, all black people have some spirituality to them, bro. Like, this is a fact. It's a fact.
So yes, I think you're right. I think he can fit in basically anywhere he wants to if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And someone was willing to meet him maybe up at his level.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. That was right. That was correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyone have any final thoughts before we close?
I would urge all listeners to go listen to Lecrae.
Yeah. Give this album a shot. Anomaly. I didn't know what I was getting into. I did not know how I was going to feel about this album, and I genuinely enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listened to it a couple times when I didn't really have to. I could have just listened to it once, but I chose.
That's true.
To listen to it the second time.
Yeah, I chose
Absolutely worth it.
I chose it because I wanted to do a rap album with David because he knows more about it than either of us.
I thought you meant you guys were going to collaborate.
I don't know if I'm qualified for that. I'm not qualified to review one. I'm certainly not.
Don't listen to that fear in your heart.
That's right. Didn't we talk about this?
All right, David, I'm coming to Stay Reaching Records and we're putting together.
Hey.
Steady Chasing.
Ah, damn. I'm coming to steady chasing records.
All right.
I'm gonna make this album.
I'm gonna also show up.
You on the chorus.
I can rap real
you got
good.
The hook. You got the hook.
I'm really good at it.
Listen to DMX too, though.
Hey, I highly recommend it. It is fun shit.
It's one of the greatest rappers.
Don't make life choices based on
my
it.
personal favorite, and then there was X. That's my favorite DMX album. I know it's not as like as motivated as his first ones.
I'm not mad at you.
But and then there was X is my favorite.
It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Yeah, I mean that's the classic. That's the one.
Man, I might listen to some DMX on the way home.
But I was saying, I wanted to choose an album. I wanted to do a rap album, and I chose one I had heard was good. Because I wanted to do something positive and good. And just to see. Because if it sucked, and this is really good, then we just know the Christian rap sucks.
Yeah.
But now we don't.
Yeah, now we know. There's a chance.
We know that it actually can be quite good.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to hear some more Lecrae in the future.
Excellent. So all of our lives have been changed.
That's right.
I will say, too, from these songs, I bet you his live show is good. When I hear some of these songs, I'm like, that is a good song to perform.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So maybe we should go.
Maybe we should go to a
on a
Lecrae concert.
date?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you
Let's all
kidding?
go. Yeah.
You think we wouldn't do a Lecrae concert for our podcast?
Yeah, and then actually we'll have like little Britney Spears headphones on and we'll record it. And we'll do a live podcast at the Lecrae concert.
See. Like somehow like siphon ourselves down and get audio in?
Yeah, we'll talk.
I bet you we can possibly get an interview if we work at it.
Holy balls.
We can get an interview with Lecrae.
Wait, this guy knows how to dream.
Hey, he is steady reaching.
Steady chasing.
Gotcha. Damn it.
But it's not as hard as you think. It's not as hard as you think. People very touchable.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But you're ruining my record level. Thanks a lot. No,
steady chasing.
He's never coming back. Josh, you've ruined everything.
Damn it. I'm gonna say it right. It's gonna be very obviously edited in.
What?
My joke.
I'll do it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go
steady chasing.
Steady chasing.
Like this man stays steady chasing. All right. Now to close out.
Yeah.
Best and worst of the album.
Ooh.
And go.
David, do you know offhand? I'm going to look at this real quick.
Not necessarily songs. It could be lines. It could be any attribute of it.
I knew this was... I actually could have been better prepared for this in general.
Well, I'm going to go...
This is fucking coming.
I'm going to go with the line from Dirty Water that I said, that I quoted earlier.
Yeah.
But, you know, my kin was treated less than men. That's why we raised to hate each other, because we hate our skin. All that stuff.
Yeah, that was good. Yes.
That was by far my favorite part of the album, period. Which is why I harped on it so much earlier.
You know what's crazy?
Mm.
I'm going to go with Timepiece, man.
Yeah?
All right.
You like the time stuff?
I'm going to go with Timepiece.
I was
really
listening
like that song.
Again, because I was going through it again. I was listening to Timepiece. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Kind of like that song.
The way he was doing it.
Yeah, man. And the first song, Outsiders. That was a dope ass song. That was a good way to start the album.
All right, so, but which one's the best?
Damn.
You gotta choose.
I'm going to say Outsiders.
Outsiders? Okay. So it starts the strongest.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do worse.
Good impression. Like.
Right.
Yeah, I felt like, okay, Outsiders, yes. Outsiders brought me in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you hear that, like, okay, I actually might like this album. Mm-hmm. I think I liked Wish a lot.
Yeah.
But the one where he got really real, what was the name of that one?
Good, Bad, Ugly.
Good, Bad, Ugly. I think that's for me.
True.
That was a solid.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the piece that really got me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hear it, but I'm nodding. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. But if there's a best, there's got to be a worst.
Damn.
What was the worst of it?
We all agree on the last one, right? But
it's the worst song. But you don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be a song.
No.
It could be...
I also forgot about this line that I
thought
thought
like
was really
face?
funny. Huh?
You don't like the album art? It could be anything.
Remember that I fell off the wall of purity doing the Humpty dance? Forget the king's horses, forget the king's men. I like that. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. Just the idea of the Humpty dance being a thing.
I was gonna say the first half is way better, but after hearing you guys' perspectives and inputs on the songs, I can't say it's way better, but I still like the first half better.
Mm-hmm.
I think first half was better.
So for you, the worst is really just the second half.
Yeah.
but not really like, just because there's no real worst.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Right.
Messengers is definitely the worst song.
Okay.
Yeah. I still don't enjoy hearing the same word that many times.
So the time thing, but
yeah, but just because of it's like this thing that clicks in the back of my head, and it just makes me twitchy.
Hey, these are all personal choices. You don't
it
have
is a
to.
personal.
It's understandable.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
You can be bugged by whatever you'd like.
Appreciate the support.
I think my worst is probably just All I Need Is You. Again, it's just a love song, and like, I'm glad he loves his wife. That's good.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Like,
You're anti-commercial.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Do you listen to the radio?
No.
Okay.
Like, honestly,
makes sense,
if I have nothing else in my car,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll just sit in silence.
It makes sense. Because that was kind of like a, when you sign to a label, no matter who you are, the people that have this label, they might like music, but they are businessmen. So they're like, how are we going to sell this album?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not begrudging him doing it.
Yeah.
I hope his wife enjoyed it. I just personally don't care. I'm good.
Mm.
I'm so good with that.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially because on this album in particular, it seems sort of out of place. And again, we know why it was done, but it's like, this is an album about talking about how everyone's fucking up the rap game, or just the world with their like selfishness and doing all this stuff, and then he has Dirty Water and he has Broken, or, where he talks about how he was molested and he had an abortion.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff. And then also over here on the side, like, but my wife's really cool. You know what I mean?
You know what is good? My wife.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just an odd.
You need some breaks, but I understand exactly what you're saying. As somebody,
it's not the one you're going to loop.
Yeah, somebody who has always been the person who liked the song that's not the single.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. But I do like the radio. I do enjoy the radio. And it's a good song.
I like singing in my car. That's a good singing in your car song.
Which is, right. I should clarify, when I say worst, I just mean for my personal enjoyment.
Word.
Right.
It was
Fine.
still well made,
Word.
well designed.
You don't have to
lyrics
explain
are good.
yourself. You can have whatever opinion
That's
you
right.
want.
That's right. Don't you own it?
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Next week, I'm feeling apologetic. So let's watch.
To me.
Nope. Let's watch an apologetic book in movie form. This next one is an adaptation of a book turned into a movie, but it's not a fiction story or even a biography. It is a dry, uninteresting book about the evidence for God.
So you're eventually going to be apologetic to me.
How's this make for a movie, you ask? You'll see.
Oh, God.
Let's take a look at the Netflix reviews, because yes, this one is available on Netflix. You can watch it with us. The first one I found on the list of most helpful reviews was actually a review for the book series.
Okay.
And it talked about how these books are an excellent starting place for anyone actually interested in the subject matter. The second review on this most helpful list of helpful reviews was a review about the reviews. And it said, in closing, I'd like to point out that almost all of the reviews here, which are transparently polarized, merely reflect the two different ways to look at the world. Half full or half empty.
Yeah.
It was a whole paragraph.
Yeah,
that was how
black
they
and white.
ended it.
Everything's black and white.
Sure would be nice if the reviews talked about the movie, huh? The third is a counter to the claims of the movie, or the book, whatever. So, at this point, it's exasperating.
Yeah.
Why is there any of these reviews about this movie? So I found the fourth review.
Thank God. I was
It
hoping.
simply reads,
Okay.
was super. Movies actor was super. Was super. Movies all way from start to end. Scott Fritz.
Someone watched it drunk and had a great time.
That's an exact quote. I checked over and over again because they wouldn't let me copy and paste.
Right.
I checked over and over to make sure I got that right. Was super. Movies actor was super. Was super. Movies all way from start to end. Scott Fritz.
Yeah. That is not a person with English as a second language. That is a drunk man.
And if that's not a ringing endorsement, I don't know what else is.
Yeah.
Because we heard was super at least 4 times.
It's true.
So put your barrister wigs on for next week. When we present the case for Christ.
Oh my God. I will wear a barrister wig. I've always wanted to.
Please do. And remember, as always, if you like the show and you'd like to support us, please give us some of those 5-star reviews on whatever podcast app or service you are using.
Mhm.
Tell your friends about it. Click on the links. If you feel like we deserve anything less than 5 stars, you are free to keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
If you find yourself unable to do that, you can record a double album in your basement,
Yes.
bury it underneath the floorboards,
Right.
burn the house down.
You could intimate it towards it in your artwork or music. Yeah. With no specifics.
Yeah.
Put it out into the world and know that nobody will ever know what you mean.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
Any good ideas for what to do with bad opinions?
You can write it down.
Yeah.
Type it. Memorize it. Get it all good. And then go play in traffic.
Did not see that ending coming.
That's my new favorite one. That's number 1 best.
Don't ever forget we have a website at noahssnarkpodcast.com. Noah's snark with 2 S's.
Yes.
Podcast.com. You can find episodes and links to our social media, which I've also included in the description of this episode.
Yes. And in addition to that, David.
Yes.
Our prized guest. Would you like to promote something for yourself? A website or a handle? Are you on Twitter? Do you do that thing?
I am on Twitter and all that, but yeah, just steadychasingrecords.com.
Steady chasing.
Yeah, checked it out, and that's it, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This has been fun.
Absolutely.
Right,
Thanks for taking the time.
And as always to the audience, thanks for listening.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. David, get in there.
Bye.
Not too late now. We have to do it again.
No, we do not. That is exactly how it's going in.